Hi everyone. Hopefully you're having a good evening. I thought whilst the husband's out cycling and the cats are out of the shade and having a sleep, I'd make a little video about change because I've been experimenting with making some changes in my own life over the last couple of weeks, and I thought I'd share with you 3 steps towards making change that I've experimented with and found successful. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I've just read or have in the process of reading, I'm a very slow reader, a book by Susan David called Emotional Agility. And in that book, she talks about this trend that we tend to have or is abound, whereby people tend to bottle negative feelings or they gloss over negative feelings instead of sort of thinking of them as being helpful. And her philosophy very much is that negative feelings are helpful things because they can signpost you towards the source of an issue. So if I took an example that I've been working with the last couple of weeks, the negative sensation for me and the negative feelings for me was a sort of heaviness and tiredness around my eyes, like, fuzziness around here, a feeling of heaviness and breathlessness, and just an expanding middle that was making me feel really quite unhappy in my body, really quite fat and lardy and unattractive. I'm quite hopeless in that because I don't like feeling sort of heavy in my body. I don't carry extra weight very well. I've only got a small kind of frame up here, so it all kind of goes down there, and I just feel very, very uncomfortable. And my clothing was becoming tight. So I want you to imagine these negative sensations and negative feelings as though they're a huge, great big arrow, like the ones you get in Las Vegas, with the lights around them, and they're pointing you and they're signposting you towards something that needs your attention. And for me, it was pointing its way towards the fact that I was drinking a lot more coffee than I ever have before. And when I really sort of analysed that, I kind of think, well, that's ridiculous because I'm caffeine sensitive. I've always had a sensitivity to caffeine. When I drink 2 cups of tea in a row, my heart starts thumping away, and I start feeling very much like like a rabbit in the headlights. And I can't sleep. There's all sorts of things it does to me. It makes my skin itch. So it's like, why on earth am I drinking more coffee? Essentially I'd given it up. I only drink kind of the odd one. Why am I drinking more now? And when I analysed that, I realised that it was because my routines changed. I'm doing a lot of meetings now over coffee in a coffee shop. And again, when I interrogate that and think, well, why am I ordering the coffee? Why am I not ordering a cup of tea? There's one very specific reason why I'm ordering coffee and not tea, and that is because I don't have sugar in tea. I never have. I drink Red Bush. I don't have sugar in Red Bush. It's naturally non-caffeine. The reason I add sugar to coffee is because I don't actually like the taste of coffee. So basically, coffee is an excuse for me to have a sugar hit. And that's why my middle is expanding, because I'm having the cup of cappuccino and then a slice of cake at once, huge amount of sugar at one go. So it's no wonder, is it, that I'm feeling sort of muzzy-headed and my middle's starting to expand. And of course, the other reason is because I don't want to spend £2 for a cup of tea when I know that it doesn't cost £2 to put a tea bag into some water. So I thought about that and I thought, okay, what can I do about this? And that leads me to step 2, which is identifying a small step. So once you've followed the signpost, the big flashing arrow, followed that negative sensation or negative feeling to the source of it, you can then think, well, what's a small step I can initiate to start feeling better or start making things better? And I identified 2 small steps. Obviously, the most obvious one was to cut down on the coffee, and I say cut down because I do enjoy the odd one now and then. So I've decided that I'm going to have my 1 coffee a week at the Farnham Hub, where I get a free one on a Friday. The other small step I have initiated was something that was very successful a few years ago, actually, and that's cutting out milk. I just don't get it. I don't get why we drink something that a different animal produces for its young, I don't get it. And in my own experience, milk seems to affect me badly. So I thought, right, I'm going to stop drinking milk. I'm going to stop putting it in tea. And I bought myself some peppermint tea because it's a little sweeter. It's just a little bit more of an exciting taste than normal tea. So I've got red bush now and then peppermint. So for the last two weeks, whenever I've gone out, I've ordered tea and I've turned down coffee. And 2 weeks later, I am feeling really good. I'm feeling a lot better. This heaviness, that kind of sleepy heaviness, has gone from around my eyes. My head is clear. My skin is much clearer. It's not as red as it usually is, and I'm much less mucousy. So two really simple things. Follow that negative sensation or emotion. Don't be afraid of it. It's a signpost. Two, identify a small step, but the magic ingredient to those two things is consistency. So over the last 2 weeks, I've been really strict on myself, and I haven't been sort of naughty and sort of suddenly thought, oh, sod it, I'm going to, rustle up some what I call shit coffee because we have instant here. In case anyone ever wants it. So I've been avoiding the shit coffee, and it's the consistency which is the magic ingredient there. If you're not consistent with those small steps, then you're not going to get anywhere. And I'm really happy because I can already feel my middle decreasing as I consume less sugar. So with these steps in mind, I'll be really excited to hear about anyone who instigates any change in their life over the next couple of weeks that uses those 2 steps, well, 3 steps. I'm not very good at counting, so I count wrong. It's really 3 steps. So signpost that negative emotion. Where's it sending you? Small step or 2 small steps, and then consistency added into the mix. Okay, so good luck and have a lovely rest of the week.